Thanks for tuning in to another MCCLA, now Founders MCC multimedia demonstration. This is the soundboard that's up in the broadcast room. This is how we get sound from anything going on in the sanctuary and a couple components here in the room into our TriCaster, which goes into our live broadcast and into our DVD. So in order to get audio into your live broadcast and DVD recording, this yellow has to be up. And this yellow is actually the level of mix that's going into the TriCaster. So when you're operating the TriCaster, you always want to make sure it doesn't go into the red, but it's got a healthy signal. You can see on your TriCaster as you're operating that where the audio is on your far right end of the monitor screen. If this is all the way down, then you're not going to get any sound. If it's all the way up, you might get too much. It's usually right there around 4/5 of the way up. And so are the red ones. The red ones are a different audio level, and they correspond to the second right that you see going, the second red round one that you see going up above the yellow. This is going to be the sound that you hear in the speakers above the sound system, and that's how we run sound up here. It's possible to plug in some headphones right up here at the top. If you like to run sound that way, I'm sure it would be a step up to actually listen through the headphones, but we usually just enjoy the live speakers in this broadcast room. And so you want to have all four of those up about the same level, and you want to adjust the second red knob up and down until it sounds good to your ears and here in the room. You want it to be loud enough that you can hear all of the mix. So that's what's going on there, but don't be fooled, because if you hear it in the room and the yellow is down, no one else is hearing it except for you. So the yellow wants to be up. The only time we pull the yellow down is when we're playing an intro, the video intro or the video outro. We fade it down just before we play the intro, and we remember to bring it back up. It's so hard to remember, because if you don't remember, you'll never know. Everything sounds fine in the room, but until you get text messages or something from all the people watching online, which has happened to me a number of times. Okay, the other thing I want to show you about this is the power button. When you come in, there's two things that have to do with sound on your broadcast and your recording, and that is one, the first thing you want to do is you want to reach down here. If you can see Jeff Jones, thank you for filming this, right in the back. I'd say around this channel number, around 20, you go find channel number 20 and go down, or 21, somewhere around there, 22. Down here there's a little power cable that goes into the power of the board. It's like a PC power cable, one of these. Well, just to the left of where that plugs in is a button you just push in. Push that in and ordinarily lights will come up. Yes, there they are. The two little red lights will come up indicating you have sound. And the other thing is when you turn on your whole system, which is another video, I know, and I'm sure you've seen that one, but there is an amp at the bottom of this rack, and there's two little volume things. They should be all the way up and turned on. This is how you're going to hear sound. And here are all your channels, and they correspond with the channels on the soundboard downstairs. But the person downstairs is running sound for the room and the balcony, but has no control over the sound that the people in the broadcast and the DVD recording get. You got all the control. It's up to you. And it's right here. We're starting off with the drums, which are in stereo, except for when at the 1:30 service we unplug the drums and we plug in a violin player on channel 1. If the drums are ever not working, that's because they didn't plug them back. And then it goes with the Roland electric keyboard, and on and on. They're all clearly marked, but the one thing I want to make sure you really understand, because it's not marked and it sometimes changes, is if you want to play sound from a video on this PC, like with iTunes or QuickTime or the VLC video player, whether it's an audio file or a video file, it's going to come through one of these blue channels. Okay, and if you're going to play a DVD on this unit right here, just good to remember that it's going to have to be switched. You have to press, first of all, the lock button to unlock that on the upper right hand corner, and press playback DVD. Or if you're running full screen PowerPoint or the record DVD, it all goes through one channel. It happens to be channel 6 on the TriCaster, and it happens to be up here. So you have to say playback DVD, and you have to turn this up. Which one is it? Well, which one is blinking? When you're running a sound source, usually it blinks somewhere to let you know that that's where it's coming through. Another thing is when there's a wireless mic operation going on, especially those mics that they put around their ears, it's usually the purple wireless. But every now and then it'll be one of these two, LAN 1 or LAN 2. So as soon as you figure out which one it is, it's good to pull all the other ones down that you're not using. Otherwise, you get sounds like that. And you should never be comfortable with sounds like that. Pull everything down that you're not using, unless you want to leave it partially up, because I like to leave the pulpit up pretty much most of the time, because somebody might walk up there and I might be spacing out. So you just leave it doesn't hurt to leave a little bit of pulpit on. Plus, when you're running sound for the broadcast, what we don't have is microphones in the audience to pick up the congregation singing. How we get around that and get a much better, more pleasing sound mix of the choir and everybody singing is we actually turn up the altar and the pulpit a little bit. That catches the live room, gives it kind of a reverb sound, gives it a much more live sound. So these are the things that you need to know about running sound. Not too much more goes on here, but one more thing is, while this yellow is up, you're going to see these audio levels go up. When this is all the way down, even though you hear things cranking in the room, you're not going to see anything here, because this is an indicator, and David Rabel put a nice little line there indicating that you should bring up your overall sound mix, whether it's one person talking or a whole band and choir singing. You should bring it up till the levels are nice and strong to this level, green going into the yellow. And that concludes our sound tutorial 2012. Thanks, Jeff.
Bye.
You want to turn around and see the cameo?
Hi.